First of all, if you have deduced for yourself, you have worked it out that that pointing to say simply pay attention to to your own self, to the self itself, because obviously the habit, the reflex is to to be pulled again in towards the mind energy, the mind field. And we know it's an ancient story, everyone experiences it. So I don't want to put anything like, oh, we should be ashamed and so on, because we all grew up with ego in this life. I think if we had overcome the ego, we probably would not be here for this round. You understand? So we have to go through it. It's something that is meant to happen to when consciousness comes into the play of manifestation. So we all will experience, and ego simply mean not being egotistical and boastful. No, ego can be very humble appearing and very gentle in appearance. It can become very subtle also. It simply means the continued investment or identification with oneself as merely the body-mind construct and conditioning that arises for us. And we all taste that and know what that feels like. Fortunately for you who are here, I am assuming like that you have already gone through, if you have been following the pointings, you will be in the experience rather than merely the belief that this is going somewhere. You experience that beyond the field of the changeful, which includes the ego personality, is the unchanging awareness self, you can say, which cannot be seen in the way that the mind appears to want to discover it. It cannot be seen and recognized phenomenally. It has no particular quality that we can say, aha, now I can see it. So it will not be with these eyes that we will see the self in that way. So gradually, as we have deepened in our understanding and maturing more and more towards what is being pointed. And this is the subtle thing, because if we relate and rely upon the usual mind functioning, it will always deviate or in some way avoid this direct recognition of what is unrecognizable phenomenally. Yet I know that you understand that in the way that the only way it can be understood is experientially. And this is why you say, I cannot put words to it. I cannot, the words, they fail in any language. It doesn't matter how good you are with language. You could be a Shakespeare or you could be whoever, a Rumi. You cannot convey. But we should not be frustrated at that. In fact, our lack of eloquence is itself a sign of our maturity, that we cannot convey it directly. The main way it can be in some way transmitted is through your own presence, when you are absorbed in your own source. There is something there. It's like there's a language without words, that when we are in the company of people, even without the intention of sharing or helping, it is as though there is some sort of osmosis or something. Some transmission happens like that. Of course, we do the best we can with words, and words are very useful because it is our main form of communication. Not the only one, but it's the most popular because everybody speak, almost, not everybody speak. And so, of course, we have to use words to point to. And sometimes the words are enough, they do enough of the job that they're capable of doing within their potential, because the rest you must take within that mystical place within you, that you don't know how you understand something. You don't know how you come to see. We don't know. We don't know. And that's why, amongst the wise, it is often said that they who know that they don't know, you see. So I'm really on par with you when you speak like that. And just to say, yes, when we go back a few words, you mentioned also that when you were here, at some point before leaving, the ego flared up. The ego energy flared up. We know what this is like also, like something is hiding. This is the greatness of true satsang, because it will bring out both the best and the worst in ourselves, isn't it? It brings
Yes.
out, I say sometimes, it brings out the best and the beast, comes
Yes.
out. Because, and it is important. We should not be ashamed. A true or earnest, seeker of truth should be very, and will be very pleased, not happily pleased, but they appreciate when the beast is exposed, because then they see, aha, for how long have you been hiding inside my being? You see, perhaps undetected, unrecognized. And that is why it goes on for so long. Some say after many, many lifetimes, we are still walking the road of progress, not actually exposing the ultimate, delusion, you see. So, of course, it plays to hide, and in the heart and mind of a true seeker, it cannot hide. Your earnestness for truth makes it, very difficult for ego to hide. It's like a thief hiding in a glass house with glass furnitures. He cannot hide because wherever he goes, he's exposed by the light of pure consciousness.
It's
So,
so wonderful.
yes, and I'm so thankful that, I can speak with you and you can be honest about it. Just yesterday, even here in Sahaja, we had a talk with those who are here. And at the end of the talk, I asked actually, how many people are here who still feel like they're hiding from me? And quite a few hands went up. And it was a shared response. I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm also happy. Happy that people had the courage to say, I am one of those who have been here. And you may have been here for 2 or 3 years even, and still hiding, something is avoiding. And I'm happy about this because then from here we can move on. We can move in and on to look at this, because the psychological identity will always be looking for, the to send you on another journey, on another errand, and all of it to in effect to avoid coming to that ultimate experiential conclusion. We know that. I hope wherever you are, that you are not, you may be physically distant from where we are in Sahaja, but in the heart not. This is why we are meeting now and using internet, because we see that it is effective. It is also a tool of consciousness, that the consciousness can convey, and the spirit being everywhere equally, it doesn't have to, it's right there with you. I'm not sending a spirit from Sahaja. It is your own being. Consciousness is conversing with consciousness about its own self and source. So I hope you all are relating to what I'm saying, because this is not something just personal. This is a universal concern. No? And
True.
so I want to thank you for just each time someone comes with openness and honesty, all benefit, including those who feel that they already know this. They can benefit if they're humble enough. They can see. We can go two ways. We can defend and protect the egoic identity, which is only a relationship we're having with delusion, in fact. Or you can, as you're doing, expose it. When you get to expose it, it might feel a little bit, we feel a little embarrassed, or other people are going to see that, I was faking or something. But I tell you, it's far more powerful than that. By just, and then you say this, the magical pointing, which is that somehow, rather than giving energy to these things, to this false self-portrait, I remember that witnessing of all these is taking place actually effortlessly. It's the mind that thinks it must make effort. But even the mind making effort to understand the self is also perceived in the self. And this, we are coming to the quintessence of the pointing, whereby as you pay attention, you say, can it be so simple? My God, can it be so simple? And what happens in the mind says, no, it is not that simple. Not for me. It is not that simple. There's lots of things going on. There's lots of voices coming. I never know how to stop them. And we're back into the I person again, fighting the I person war that you never win. At least you may progress at that level, but it's so slow because you're fighting with a great handicap, with false identity. So you say, that, no, I just remember, and in the instant of my remembering, I'm back in my natural power. And what happens to all that trouble? It vanishes. It never was real. It's only as real as you take yourself to be personally, then these things appear personally. Who gets it? Who gets it, you see? Because if we don't, because, there's something here where we have made some compromise, some kind of deal with that, okay, there are things I want to do in the world. There's things I want from the world. And, I can't fully go into what Mooji is saying because he's talking about wipeout. Well, I'm not talking about wipeout of the world, of the earth, of the planet. I love the planet. Like I say, I just don't want the planet. I love the planet. I love the life here. But I don't have to go too far. You must know how far. When you begin to have aspirations for your person, it means that to that extent, we are involved in a way. And I've got to take a moment to make this clear because I don't want you to misunderstand. And I'm speaking now broader than you, Eileen. I'm speaking to everybody when I say this. I have nothing against work and life and enjoying existence. Is nothing against this. I'm talking like there's nothing about, we were talking about, there's nothing wrong with things, even with money. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the attachment to and what you think it represent for you. That's where the trouble begins because it binds you into some kind of a deal that is the devil's deal. You can enjoy, you can outwardly experience and express and have contact with whatever your life brings to you, but inwardly be detached. But you will only do this once you begin to taste the treasures of the self, which are not material. You see, it's like in the Bible, I remember when Jesus say, don't work to save up treasures on earth that can be stolen, that can rot, that can decay. Make treasures in heaven, mean that in your heart. What are these treasures he's speaking about? The treasure of peace and love and openness and wisdom and loving kindness, and compassion. And this is the treasure that you will not lose. You understand? So that's all I'm telling you. I'm not speaking against life, the world. Life is experienced at different layers and levels according to, where your mind is at, where your identity is at. Because at every level that exists in consciousness, including hell, okay? Including hell, okay? Cannot work without God. It cannot. Because He's the all-encompassing one. So wherever you may be in your life, when I say right there is a door to your inmost being. So I'm not saying, the awakening growing discovery is only for the elite, meaning those who have studied and have a lot of understanding, or those that we imagine were just destined for freedom. No, freedom means the discovery of what you can never not be fundamentally, but at present we are unaware of. So it is a journey of expanding into the awareness of what is timeless in us. That's what I wanted to share. You see? So, of course, when we, for variously, we're different intensity of identification with ego identity. Of course, it happened. No? And the ego has a lot of things. It has a lot of programs. It has a lot of things to get you involved in. It has a lot. We cannot come to the end. There's no manual of the range or diversity of things for the human consciousness, human expression of consciousness, to get involved in more than any other species on any part in the universe. We have so much the mind can present to you and say, yeah, this and that and this, and try this. And so if you are looking for distractions, where to begin, where to end on that. So all I'm saying is we each know where somehow our energy is, I would say, hemorrhaging. We may say where the energy wants to go. I say no. The real energy of observation, of pursuing, to one who is earnest and evolving in their discovery, that energy is turned towards just the self, just to remember, not building a self, not building a self. If you're a person, you're going to be invested and involved in building and recreating a self. I'm not talking about recreating any self. I'm talking about to discover that which is unchanging in you. And to the mind will say, unchanging, that sounds boring. I love change. I love change. Nothing wrong with change. But all the change that's taking place, you may enjoy, but you will enjoy excellently from the place of the unchanging. And that is what I'm talking about.